2+ years ago, I learned about a Japanese method called jime. And it's essentially how you process the fish once you catch it. And the fish killing technique, and then, how it gets from you catch the fish to a product on the cutting board.
Ikejime. Mm-hmm. What is that process?
So, the word ikejime actually means a brain spike or instant brain death. And so some people, like on bigger species, they use a bat or a club. I use a little spike. And so the second that any fish is caught, just right there in the brain. I normally talk about it from an objective only point of view. Like, I like to stick to the biology, but subjectively, I do also think it's more ethical because the death is instantaneous. Like, if you just put a fish in the cooler, it's essentially dying from suffocation.
Yeah.
Right?
And whoever's like freaked out right now, like,
I'm
this
sorry.
is how it's all good. Like, it's okay.
That's
this
why I
is
said
honestly,
we don't need to.
No, I'll put a little thing in the beginning, but honestly, it's good. It's good. Like, this is what they do with chickens. This is what they do. They think the same way too. How can we make this ethical, man? Yeah.
Yeah. And
it's real
so
conversations.
It's also not just ethical, but it's quality. And so when you process the fish this way and then you bleed it out and you immediately get it on ice, the level of quality is enhanced exponentially.
Amazing.
And so
it's true.
It's a value creation thing. It's the same thing as in the garden, that our food system maybe has failed because we've gone to this like plastic packaging system of bringing in mahi-mahi, for example, from Honduras or somewhere in Central America where we have it right here.
Not done appropriately and spiritually, and
so
interesting.
And the transportation and all of that, and so what a lot of people are doing is really trying to value create with the resource that we have here, Florida. Beautiful. We have a huge shoreline. We have massive biodiversity, and by respecting every single fish and harvesting it to the highest quality we can, we're really creating value for that resource. And it's what I'm doing now is really sharing that, because a lot of people have fished their whole life and they've never thought about, they think about everything, the tide and the tackle and where they need to be. And we haven't had a conversation of what we're now calling harvest protocol, which is once you catch the fish, now how are we processing that to maximize quality and respect? And so that's really what I'm into right now.
And so just because I have to ask you, for someone who were to say, hey, like, we don't even need to fish, it's not our place, get boats out of here, even though a lot of these people probably enjoy the boats, but they say, hey, this isn't a good practice, no more fishing, like, we don't have to eat them, this is cruel. What would you say to a person like that? Like, we're gonna like overfishing. They might say, "Hey, we're overfishing."
So, I mean, fish is any other type of animal protein. So I evaluate that. I look at it as harvest, and I look at it as butchery, and so I don't want to get to whether it's better to be a vegetarian or whether people should be carnivores or omnivores or what. What I will say is that resource management, whether it's water quality, whether it's fisheries management on spawning season or regulations of quantity or size minimums, I fully support that.
Yeah. Like regulations out there on the water, people not pulling out every single...
Well, I think what people don't realize is that people that hunt and fish are actually the resource's biggest advocates.
Tell them.
We're stewards.
I love
because
that.
we appreciate the resource. We know the value for all those, you said 20 reasons, for food, for therapy.
And it also feeds the land as fertilizer. But here's the main thing, Allison, I appreciate this, just different perspective for people out there. Because also it's like, those people have the knowledge too. They're actually out there on the water.
They're seeing what happens every day.
Yeah.
Maybe their livelihood is dependent on it, if not just their mental health.
Right.
But they're the ones that are, have an interest in the resource. and they see the future of it. They remember it as a child, right? And now they're activists as an adult because they want to have that preservation, you know, for future generations. And whether it's stewards of land or water or fish, I think the people that have their hands in there are the ones that really understand.
Which matter, you know, it matters, like resource. They do this with deer up north and all this stuff. It's resource management, and there is an imbalance out there, and it's like, let's come to terms with that, figure out how to make it better, you know.
Yeah, well, a lot of the imbalance is also caused by human intervention.
Yeah,
you know, so what we throw some of that off, and then we have to figure out, I think, how to get that back into equilibrium.
Yeah, and it's funny, like maybe we don't have it, we can't, like we're just playing stupid trying to control it all day long, you know, because it's so powerful and beyond us.
Yeah.
But it's okay. I mean, but here's the thing. I think if we're conscious and we're like not ignorant about it, I think fishing has a place, you know, for sure. Like for humans.
Fishing has had a place within history. If you go back, you know, our earliest people, right, settled by water because they needed that to survive. And then came agriculture, and fishing was their sustainability and hunting. I mean, that's as far back as history started.
Yeah.
So I think there's a place for it. And I think, again, like you said, it's all about balance.
Hey guys, so if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe below. And we'll see you in the next one.